So I just made the last of the amber beads and then didn't hit record. So we're gonna do one more just so there's something for the film. So I have made hundreds of these amber beads in various shapes and sizes to reproduce this Anglo Saxon bead set, but do it in glass instead of amber. And the last few I had to do was a really big amber bead. Now this particular project, I've not been super focused on keeping the glass clean or even. Like the amber in the piece is kind of all over the place. And so the more varied each individual bead is, the more options it's going to give me when I'm assembling the piece to find one that's a reasonable facsimile of the original amber piece. So when I go to assemble the piece, which I'll plan to do on camera, you will see all the various shapes I've done. This is the basic amber bead. This one was done with COE 104 glass, but a significant portion of the piece has been made with recycled glass. All right. So hopefully I'll be able to sit down this weekend and assemble this piece, maybe tonight, and have it up as a video for tomorrow. So this is the last batch for the Anglo Saxon amber piece. So these are gonna get put in my little tray. And then we're gonna put some water in this to start working the beads off the mandrels. It's a super exciting angle. One of the tasks that has to be done is that once the beads have cooled and been taken out of the annealer, the kiln, they've got to be removed from their mandrels. And the white or gray material that separates the bead from the metal is the release or the slip. And if you just give it a little bit of torque, they'll generally break right loose and slide off until I clean them. Should and always aren't the same thing, but most of these seem to be coming up pretty good. And then I'm just putting them in this bowl that's got water in it, and then they'll continue to soak in this bowl. And there should be enough here to finish up a reproduction piece. Well, it's not a true reproduction. I'm substituting glass for amber because money. So each bead's just going to get reamed out, trying to remove as much of the bead release as I can. It's important to like get the bead reamer in the bead hole. We don't want to make contact with the glass outside the bead hole. Now, we don't want to happen. So that's what I cleaned. I'm going to give those another rinse. That's what's left to do. So we have taken all the beads out of the kiln. We have taken them off the rods. And at this point we have cleaned them. And so this is the work product of today's cleaning. I'm going to set this little towel up here so that they won't roll off the table, and that there will be some place for the water to be absorbed. And what we're going to start doing is going to start sorting through these. So I've got several projects in here, so I'm going to use this little bit to organize some of the other projects. So that's these little ones. So for another thing that I've got done. And these are for. So this is the ones that we were making yesterday when I put the YouTube video up. We're going towards a mycelium project. These little eye beads, they're for a couple of lapis projects that they're going on. These are other projects, and this is the one we're going to work on next. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, as I'm working on the piece, I'm going to mark off what I've done, and then I'm going to start up here at the top. So what I'm doing, I'll go ahead and pull some of these big pieces out. So this is not very good. We're trying to make 3 of them. I don't know if it's going to work. So one of the things I'm doing here is I'm feeling for the puckers, the opening of the bead. So I'm looking for the right shape and size, and I'm also looking for ones that in the right size hole, but I'm also specifically looking for ones that are a little flawed on the ends, because this isn't going to go to market, and so they can chew up one of the slots on this and save the better beads for market. Let's see, there's more of those kind though. So we're going to remove all these marks. So I'm going to string these on the cable. And so we're going to do this necklace 2 more times. I think I'm only going to record it 1 more time, and then I will work without recording it the 2nd time. So I've got it pulled up here. This is the piece that's going towards the fundraiser reward. So this is going to be as good beads as I can find to match what's there, and I'm going to try and match as closely as I can. And this will be the actual piece intended to represent to be the reproduction, right? So on the exemplar, I'm just trying to give a gist of what the piece looks like. This one I'm trying to get as close as I can. So because this piece is meant to represent amber, I'm accepting beads with flaws. What I'm really inspecting for is the size, the shape, and that the pucker is good. But I want the beads to have lots of character. So like that bead would probably get rejected if it was meant to be a glass piece, but it just adds character, and it helps. I think it helps give the amber vibe a little bit. And if you watched any of the videos when I was producing these beads, I was intentionally letting them be rough. Alright guys, this devil of a project is almost done. So this is going to be a continuous strand. Goes over my head fine. Oh, what the I just hit the camera with the light. Ugh. Initially, I thought I was going to need to double strand this, but it's really not that heavy. So I think it's just going to be a one strand doohickey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few beads off. So I've got a couple of little amber seed beads. And what these are going to do is lock this bead crimp in place so that it doesn't fall between beads. So I'm going to stick the seed bead on the crimp, the bead, go a few beads in, repeat the process. And the bead hole on the seed bead is just big enough to pass this thread through twice. Alright. Now we're going to take the other end and I'm going to pass it in the opposite direction through the seed beads, through the beads, and through the bead crimps. And I'm using 3 bead crimps here. So what I want to do is I want to roll the piece once. And that's going to make sure I've got enough slack built into the piece so that it'll flex. Trust me, if you forget to do this, it is noticeable in the piece. And it will make storing the piece more complicated because the piece just will not roll well. And I personally don't think you should be like on a regular size necklace looping it but one time for storage, and on a longer piece like this you could you could get away with twice, but I wouldn't do more. Now that first bead crimp locked in place, the rest should go. It's not going to end up changing size on me. Okay, so this is the one that's going to go up for sale. So this is the one that's got the best beads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a portion of wire that I have ruined so we don't accidentally use it. And I destroyed my thing. How the hell? Okay. So now, in the process, look at this other piece of jewelry down here I need to finish before I fuck it up. Came off one end, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be in the same place in the necklace. Now, which one I string it back on? Again with the seed beads. So if you get a reproduction piece from the beads at the very end of the piece are probably not meant to be reproduction beads. So, and I have to, using this modern clasp and thread, I've got to use these crimp beads, and there are special considerations that just go into using them. And then sometimes I just need the piece to be longer so I can make it into something that has a use. So, you know, what is found in the archaeological record is not necessarily a piece as it existed in use. And so sometimes I find that, like, they're just, and of course, people have changed. So sometimes it's not quite a bracelet or an anklet or a necklace. It could have just been a random collection of beads. Well, you know, we want to use it for something. So we add beads to the end of the piece. I try to use beads that are from the time and place. But it's just one of those things. So this piece is a reward for helping to fund my trip to MDATS, the Medieval Dress and Textile Society Conference. I'm at the 50% mark on that. This is what you get for as a reward at the $100 level. So this person got a thank you. They got the discount code, and then we kind of worked together, or I suggested, based on their persona, their medieval character, on this piece. And they accepted the suggestion. And then as I was making it, I was like, I'll probably have enough to make one for sale too. And that worked out. Now, this one that's the reward, it is all my premium quality beads. So these are really good beads. Now, it wasn't as complex of a necklace to make, but it was resource intensive. Like I don't have a lot of amber glass, and I was scrounging towards the end of this project, trying to find, and I wanted to do it all out of recycled glass, and I couldn't find enough recycled glass in time. After I depleted what I did have, and then I depleted pretty much all my amber glass, so which means that Swedish piece that I want to make is going to be on the back burner for a minute because I need amber glass to do it. I've got these 4 beads that are from the Swedish find I saw at the British Museum. I thought they were Anglo Saxon because my pictures were all out of order. It was with the Anglo Saxon stuff. But when I read the label, it appears to be Swedish or Switzerland. I got to go back and look and see. Was it Swedish or Switzerland? It should be Switzerland, and I'd just be a doofus. Switzerland. So every time I mention Sweden in regards to these amber beads, what I meant was Switzerland. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, these beads were found with a brass ring, a bronze ring. I'm going to put them on a little copper ring. The ring they were found with was just kind of open, but I'm going to close these because I don't want them coming off. They're just meant, the ring is just meant for display purposes. It's not a part of the catalog here. Well, okay, that one will be the one that goes with me. And this other one will be the one I put out into the world. Look, my dog had just had a ball with this thing. It sneaks in here and steals it all the time. Trying to get this to shape a little bit more into rounds. Please don't laugh at me. So part of the problem there was I cut that whole mechanism way too small. And I just didn't have the wire needed to do the piece like I wanted. This first first one is the worst of the two beads, so I will keep that one for myself. Same thing in the museum piece, they're just overlapped, but I want to lock it into place. Also, this is copper, not brass, bronze. All right, so the very last step. So the very last step here is gonna be to label the pieces that are staying with me. And so I'm gonna put the date that I made it, and then what it is.